and welcome back to my humble kitchen. I'm Vanessa Valero and thank you for watching my food vlog again. It's a beautiful bite. I am so excited to share with you a really beautiful bite that's really vibrant and fresh. Today we are going to make a delicious Tuscan kale salad, and I'm going to explain to you the handling of these beautiful green leaves in just a few minutes. But before we do that, we need to start on another element of our salad that has to cook and cool. First, we're going to make red quinoa, and red quinoa is really special. There's so many different kinds of quinoas, but red is one of my favorite, especially just in raw form without adding anything other than just a tiny bit of salt. It's so delicious. It has this wonderful nutty flavor. There's 1 2/3 cups of water. 1 cup of quinoa is what I use. And then I just put half a teaspoon of salt to season it. So this is Tuscan kale. It's a beautiful fibrous green, and a lot of times people don't know what to do with it. I didn't know what to do with it till I explored with it and messed with it and realized how delicious and citrusy it actually is. So the way that you break down kale to eat it raw for a salad, as you can see, there's this nice big vine that runs right through the kale. You want to get rid of as much of the vein as possible. So the easiest way to do it is you grab both ends of that, and you're just going to pull. This one's an extra large vein, so it doesn't work as well, but you're just going to pull just like that. And then there's the vein, and then there we are. Let me go ahead and move those over there. So then you're left with a beautiful leafy green without the main vein, because that vein is what causes a lot of the bitterness. So again, you just have the vein. You're going to pull down on each side. And this kind of, as you do it, it gets easier. The first few times you do it, you're going to say, that's not as easy as it looked. But as you start, if you do it a few times, it gets a lot easier. This is 2 heads of Tuscan kale. I happen to have an awesome farmer's market here in Phoenix every Saturday, and I get my kale from Blue Sky Farms. I love supporting local farms. Wherever you live, I think you should do the same, but they have the most beautiful kale. Not every grocery store carries this. As far as I know, one grocery store that carries it quite often is AJ's. They usually carry it year-round. Once we get a good-sized bundle here, you're going to take, don't worry about breaking the kale. You're going to have to massage it. It's a very fibrous green, and if it's fresh, it's going to be that way. You want to do this in as small as slivers as possible. You just want to do small little shreds. And before we come back to the greens, I hear my quinoa boiling. If you want to see, you want to make sure your quinoa gets a really nice full boil like that. Then we're going to turn it down to low. And we are going to turn our timer on to 15 minutes. And once that's done cooking, we want to put it straight in the refrigerator. Usually do this ahead of time if you can, because then that way it's going to be nice and cool. You don't want to put it on the greens while it's still hot, otherwise it will tend to wilt them. And as you can see, as you get it down, it goes so fast. There you are. So now I have this big, beautiful bunch of kale. The thing about kale is it's a very fibrous green, so it benefits from a little bit of massaging. Now I know that sounds silly, but you want to take 1 lemon, take a zester, and again, this is just bringing out the natural flavors of the kale. So there's the zest of 1 lemon. And then we actually want half of a lemon juice. So we're going to go ahead and take our handy dandy little juicer. And we're going to squeeze half of a lemon on there. And then I do half of a teaspoon of salt. So then we get to the fun part. We get to massage the kale. I wish it would massage me back, but it doesn't. So I know this seems a little bit silly, but it actually makes a really big difference whenever you're eating the kale. It helps break down those fibers and helps, you can start to smell the fruitiness and the richness of this kale. Do this for about 2 or 3 minutes. So now we're going to make the delicious vinaigrette that goes on top of our salad. We're going to do half of a lemon. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of agave nectar, sweeten out the acidity, half a teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper for just a little kick in there. We're going to go ahead and put it in there and just let it blend for probably about 30 seconds. You can whisk it if you want to, but I just find that this gets it nice and frothy and it really blends in the salt and the pepper and gets it to that nice, fluidy, frothy consistency. There we go. Just like anything, taste it to make sure that it's good. It's delicious. It's tangy and it's sweet and it's smooth. It's delicious. It's going to be wonderful on the kale. As soon as the quinoa is done cooling, we'll go ahead and put it on the kale and mix it all together. Now we're ready to assemble our salad and be able to finally enjoy it. So we have our 2 heads of Tuscan kale that have been chopped, deveined, massaged with some lemon zest, some salt, and half of a lemon juice in there. We have our 1 cup of cooked quinoa. Then we have our vinaigrette. I like to put this on top of the quinoa and the salad. If it starts to separate a little bit, just mix it around. Because the quinoa kind of acts as an agent that holds it all together, and it sucks in a little bit of the vinaigrette too, otherwise you might have a little too much of a pool sitting at the bottom. We have a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. 1/4 cup, I'm sorry. And then for a nice little burst of fruit, we have about a cup of half chopped, just cut them in half, of green grapes. Another fruit I love to put on here if it's in season is, I love pomegranate seeds in this. It's really delicious. Now whenever you serve this, you want to make sure you get a little bit of everything in there. Look at that. That is a bowl of health and deliciousness. It really is. And my only advisement with this is just probably don't eat it really late at night, because it sounds crazy, but it actually gives you a lot of energy because there's so much raw nutrients in here. And as always, I get to taste it. That is delicious and nutritious. If you're afraid of it, don't be. I promise your kids are even going to love it because it has a little bit of fruit, a little bit of sweetness. Absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to comment. Let me know what you think. Give me your feedback. I hope you enjoy this. And here I see, this is my little girl. This is Sparkle, and she actually likes kale too, as long as it's dressed right. So, anyways, we're going to sit here and enjoy our delicious Tuscan Kale Salad with red quinoa. We'll see you next time right here in my kitchen on It's a Beautiful Bite.